we are moving on to the next chapter. This topic is accounting for goods and services tax, that is GST, which you would have heard at least. It's not given as a separate chapter in your textbook. It's given in between chapter 11 and chapter 12. But I have continued it as chapter 8 because here also we will be discussing the journal entries for GST. So chapter 8 is actually journal. I have given the video number as 9. I have continued from the chapter journal. It's not having any specific chapter number in this textbook. The time being you write it as chapter 8, you continue it as journal. I mean, you don't have to include it there. We finished ledger now. You can continue after ledger. You don't have to go there and include it there in chapter journal, but it's related to chapter journal. You can continue after ledger itself. Yes. So what is goods and services tax? GST, the term would be familiar, though you don't know the actual meaning. Okay. This goods and services tax was introduced from 1st July 2017 by Modi government, and the main purpose behind introduction of GST was one tax, one nation. The meaning is the same items will be charged same rate of tax across the country. Understood? Everywhere in every state the same items will be charged same rate of tax. Previously it was not like that. The same item would be charged different tax rates in different states. So to avoid that, they introduced GST. So that is one tax, one nation. Then GST we have in this chapter, what we have to learn is types of GST, then how to record journal entries for GST. Okay, so we'll see what are the different types of GST we have and how to record the entries for that. So here, yes, then there is one more point, like GST is not levied on. Levied means it's L-E-V-I-E-D. Levied means charged or imposed. GST is not levied on. That means exemption is there for certain products like petroleum, then import of goods or services. It's on services also you are charging the tax. That's called goods and services tax. So when you import items or when you import any service, that means when you avail any service, then alcohol for human consumption. These items are exempted from GST, goods and services tax. That you must remember. Petroleum, alcohol and import of goods and services. These items are exempted, means these items will not be having GST, goods and services tax. Then we have three types of GST, that is CGST, SGST and IGST. I'll write the full form also. CGST means Central Goods and Services Tax. SGST means State Goods and Services Tax. IGST means Integrated Goods and Services Tax. Okay. So these are the three types which you should learn first. CGST, SGST and IGST. IGST means Integrated Goods and Services Tax. SGST is State Goods and Services Tax. CGST is Central Goods and Services Tax. Next question is, when should we charge all these? If the transaction is within the state, I mean within Kerala or within Tamil Nadu. If it is within the state, it's called intrastate. Intra means within the state. We will be charging, the firm will be charging, or the supplier or the seller will be charging both CGST and SGST. Understood? If a particular product is to be charged tax at the rate of 12%, that is the GST on any item. Suppose 12% is the GST, is the tax rate. And the transaction is taking place within the state, or we can refer it as intra-state. We'll be charging both CGST and SGST at the rate of 6%. This rate is just example, at the rate of 6% each. Understood? This is how we are charging. So both CGST and SGST will be charged if the transaction is within the state. So if it is outside the state, we'll be charging IGST or integrated GST outside the state, or we can refer it as interstates, like transaction between our state Kerala and Tamil Nadu. So that is interstate or outside the state. You must charge integrated GST, the whole rate 12% will charge. Understood? So these are the different types of GST. Then next what you need to learn is, or what you need to understand is, what is input GST and what is output GST. Again, input GST we can divide into input CGST, input SGST and input IGST. We can divide like this. Same way, output CGST, output SGST and output IGST. Yes, now we'll see. So CGST, SGST and IGST we discussed. Now we'll see what is input GST. Input GST is the tax paid when we purchase, we means the firm, when the firm is purchasing goods and services, or if it is a customer also, when he purchases goods and services, he will have to pay a tax that is called input GST. See, we people, I mean as individuals, we are also paying this GST, knowingly or unknowingly. You go to a shop, you buy a product, the tax rate will be included in the selling price. So unknowingly you are paying the tax to the seller in turn will pay this amount to the government. Understood? So all these happening unknowingly. So we are paying tax in an indirect way. So GST is known as an indirect tax. It is known as an indirect tax because it's paid indirectly to the government. How? It will be included in the selling price. So what you have to learn about input GST means it is the tax paid on purchase of goods and services. When you purchase something, the tax paid by you, and in this accounting point of view, we are discussing only about the firm's transaction. So from firm's point of view, when they purchase goods or services, I mean for resale, when they purchase goods or services, the tax paid by them is known as input GST. So this is on purchase. So automatically output GST will be on sale. When the firm is selling goods and services, the tax collected by the firm, that time we are collecting, we are not paying, the customer would pay. So the tax collected by the firm is known as output GST. So this is on sales, this is on purchases. Understood? Now, suppose we did both the transaction. They purchase and sale both happen in the firm. Both will happen normally. So when you purchased some goods, you paid input GST. That's called input GST for rupees 20,000. Suppose. Then later you sold those goods. That time you collected tax. And the collected amount altogether, it was for rupees 30,000. Altogether, okay, not for the same item I am saying. So 20,000 as input GST which you paid, and you collected output GST as 30. In effect, how much the firm is paying to the government? We paid 20, we got 30. So in effect, we are paying only rupees 10,000 to the government, isn't it? Actually, we paid entire 20, but since we got 30, The in effect, the difference only, the net effect only we are paying to the government. We'll be paying only the difference of rupees 10,000 to government. This is called, this situation is called setting off. I'll be explaining this portion in detail later. This setting off means setting off or cancelling input GST with output GST, and only the balance will be paid to the government. So, what you paid, when you pay something, the amount paid, what is the nature of amount paid or amount spent? That is always an expense. Then, this is the amount you collected, that means it is your income actually. But when you set off these two, that is 20 and 30, when you set off these two, 20,000 will become an asset for you, not an expense for you. How it is becoming an asset? Will tax become an asset for you? Actually, no. But how it is becoming an asset? Since you can set off these two, otherwise it is an expense. Since you can set off the paid amount and the collected amount, in effect, you are paying only the balance. Understood? You could collect more than what you pay. In that sense, this paid amount will become an asset, not an expense. Then, the collected amount, that is actually an income for you, but can we keep this amount with us? No, this collected amount to be paid to the government. So, this collected amount actually is it an income for you? No, it is a liability for you. Understood? Though you don't understand the exact concept, what you have to learn is input GST to be always debited in your journal entry and output GST will be credited. And now I explained why it is to be debited and why the other one is to be credited. Because input GST is an asset whereas output GST is a liability. That is why input GST is debited, output GST is credited. That's the actual concept. Clear? What we collect is payable to the government. So that is a liability. Payable is always a liability. When you collect it, it was an income. But later it's payable to the government. So output GST is a liability. It should be credited. Then input GST, it was an expense because you paid it when you purchased goods. So it was an expense. But later when you adjusted it with output GST, when you adjusted and the output GST was more, the collected amount was more than the paid amount. In that sense, this expense became an asset, only in that sense. Otherwise, suppose you couldn't adjust like this, this will remain as an expense itself. And we know that expenses also will be debited. So here it is an asset and it is input GST is to be debited always in the journal entry. Okay, so we'll see the journal entries now, how to record the entries. We'll work out illustration 1. The page number is 13. This is given in between chapter 11 and 12. Page number 13, illustration number 1. Draw the format of journal, then we'll start. Okay, the first transaction is, the dates are also given. So you write the dates also. Purchase goods in cash, it's familiar entry, but there is GST in the question. And here we are discussing intrastate transactions. The heading is given there. Intrastate means within the state. So you have to charge CGST and SGST. No need of IGST. So GST also to be included. We'll write the basic entry first. It's on April 3rd, 2020. April 3rd, the basic entry when you purchase goods for cash. So purchases account, is it mentioned the fixed assets name? No. Purchases account debtor, we'll write to cash account, isn't it? That is the basic entry which we are writing always, but now we have to include GST. The question is, which GST will you write? Is it input or output GST? You have to write input GST because we are purchasing. And input, which one? You have to specify. Is it CGST, SGST or IGST? We have to write both CGST and SGST because it is within the state or intra-state. So, we will write both CGST and SGST. The rate is 9% each. So, purchases account debtor, and we understood it is input CGST and input SGST to be written because we are purchasing within the state. Then, next question is whether it should be debited or credited. That also we discussed. Input GST to be debited being an asset. So, that should be debited. Or considering it as expense also, that must be debited. Input CGST account debtor, input SGST account debtor to cash account. That's a basic entry, to cash account. Now you have to write the amounts also carefully. Read the transaction once again. Purchased goods in cash for rupees 5,000. So that 5,000 is the value of goods you purchased, not the value of cash. You purchased goods for 5,000 plus GST, you paid something. So that 5,000 must be written against purchases account. Write figures very carefully. Understood? So purchase goods of 5,000 means purchases account must be written with 5,000. Then the rate is 9%. So you have to compute 9% on 5,000. 5,000 into 9 by 100. It is 450 each for CGST and SGST. So altogether we can write on the credit side. Once we finish the debit side, the total of debit side must be equal to the credit side. So it is 5,900. You can write the narration and close. What's the next entry? So this is how you have to write entries with GST. It is on April 5th, the next one. Sold goods for cash 8,000 plus CGST and SGST at the rate of 9% each, just the reverse. So we are selling goods for cash. So what will be the journal entry? It will be cash account debtor to sales, the basic entry. Now we have to include GST. When you sell something, you have to include output GST. And here it is output CGST and output SGST, and both must be credited because output GST is a liability. It was an income when you collected, later it's payable, so it's a liability, it's to be credited. So the journal entry is a compound entry now. It's cash account debtor to sales. Whenever you write GST, it will become a compound entry. To output, you must write it as compound entry. So to output CGST and to output SGST account. And that sold value must come against sales account, that is rupees 8,000. So you write it against your sales, compute 9% on 8,000. So 720 each. Add your credit side total. Altogether, the debit side, you can write 9,450. Just add these three and write the total here. So that is second transaction. You write the narration. Sold goods with GST. That's all. April 8th. The transaction is purchased goods from Karam for rupees 10,000. That 10,000 must come against purchases. Plus CGST and SGST you have to write. Okay. So which GST you will include here? Since it is purchase, you have to write input. And input GST must be debited. And 2 you have to write, CGST. And SGST you will have to debit and write. So it is purchases account debtor, input CGST account debtor, input SGST account debtor. Don't write to cash. The name of The seller is mentioned means it's on credit. You must write to current. It's not to cash. That's a basic entry. Yes, purchases account we have to write 10,000. Then 9% you compute on 10,000. So it is 900 each. Altogether you add this debit side total. You write 11,800 on the credit side. Write the narration now. And you can close this. Then next one, April 15th, sold goods to Param for rupees 15,000. So that 15,000 must be written against sales. Understood? And it is on credit since the name is mentioned. Or else they should specifically mention it is for cash. April 15th, it's Param's account. Debtor. Yes, we are selling goods here. So it is output GST to be written. And output GST must be credited. Param's account debtor to sales account to output CGST account to output SGST account. And the sales account amount is 15,000. Then 9% you compute and write. It is 1,350 each. So altogether the debit side it is 17,700. Write the narration. Sold goods to Param. You mention that because it is on credit. So mention his name. Sold goods to Param with GST. The next one, April 20th. You have goods returned by Param. You sold goods to Param. Now he is returning means which account you will open? It is sales return. Sales we credited, so sales return must be debited. Similarly, at the time of sales, we opened one GST account, that is output GST account. Now at the time of sales return will be debited, output GST also to be debited. Output CGST, output SGST, all these will be debited because it's a reverse transaction happening. So all these we have to cancel. Understood? The reason is being defective. The rate of tax is not mentioned, but it is understood because you sold at the rate of 9%. So when they return also the same thing we have to cancel. Understood? But they are not returning it fully. We had sold for 15. They are returning only for rupees 5,000 now. So we'll write the entry. It's on April 20th. What you have to remember is since it is returned back, these accounts will be cancelled, debited now. So the entry will be sales return account debtor, then output CGST account debtor. We are cancelling this since they returned. Output SGST account debtor to who is returning? It's Param, no? Yes. To Param's account. How will you write the amount? They returned goods worth 5,000. That must come against sales return. Then the rate is same, so it is 450 each for output GST, and altogether it is 5,900 on the credit side. So write the narration and you can close that entry. Draw line only in particulars column. The last transaction on April 25th, returned goods purchased from Karam costing 4,000. We had purchased before, now we are returning. So it is purchases return. Purchase return we debited, so purchases return must be credited. Input GST we debited at the time of purchase. Now when you return, input GST must be credited. It's a reverse happening. Understood? So the journal entry, the date is April 25th. The entry will be, and the tax rate also will be same. Current account debtor to we are returning, so it's called purchases return. To purchases return account, we have to cancel that input GSTs which we opened at the time of purchased. So to input CGST to input SGST. Okay, just draw that LF column. It's there, it was there in the beginning. Okay, you continue, extend those lines. Yes, now coming to this entry, how to write the amounts. We returned goods of 4,000. So where will you write that 4,000? That must be written against purchases account. Then 9% you write. So it is 360. 9% on 4,000. So altogether 4,720. Write the narration and you can draw a line here in particulars. Since it is the end of the question, you can just close your journal like this. Okay, yes, April 25th, that's the last transaction. So this is how you have to write journal entries with GST. You have to see whether it is input or output. If it is purchase, it is input, so debit it. If it is sales, it is output, credit it. If it is purchases return, sales return, you have to do the reverse, cancel it and do. Then amounts also you have to write carefully, like purchased goods for 5,000 means 5,000 must be written against purchases. Sold goods for 10,000, 10,000 must come against sales. So go through the entries, which account to be debited, which account to be credited. Learn the concept first, then you try this problem.